Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Run In Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Big Mike, and I am joined today by the Swerve Strickland to my Hangman Page. How you doing today, Spud?
Doing all right, man. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good, man. Ready for some predictions? You ready?
Oh, yeah. I'm ready. Look, I'm putting everything on the line today. All right. Got the crown, WWE crown, and the NXT championship, predictions championship. Let's be real here. All right. Both on the line. Raw on Netflix, NXT New Year's Evil. Let's get this going.
Hell yeah. You heard him. You heard the man. We are predicting both the Raw on Netflix premiere and New Year's Evil. We will start off with the show that will come first in chronological order, which is the Raw on Netflix show. There are 4 matches currently announced. We will go through each one of them. You see there a little bit of a new layout and a new logo. So this 2025, new year, new us kind of thing. So hope you guys like it. Starting off first with the Women's World Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. Who you got, brother?
All right, man. I've been going back and forth on this for a while now. All right. A lot of people have been persuading me to go Liv. A lot of people have been persuading me going Rhea. But I am going to go Rhea on this one. I think this is where we see Raquel turn on Liv. Liv is about to go do her own thing. And I think Rhea gets her title back. They like what she did before everything Liv did. Has done, with that title. Liv hasn't had a terrible run with this title. No, let's not get that twisted. But Rhea's run versus Liv's run, it's night and day, So I'm going Rhea on this one.
All right, I agree. I think Rhea takes it. I don't think Raquel turns just yet. I think they actually want them to have a title run because they actually were best. Liv and Raquel were actually best when they were tag team champions.
I forgot about that.
Before they got hurt. They can actually kind of continue the quote unquote revenge tour, but still get away from Rhea Ripley with the main title and go through kind of a tag team revenge tour, since they did lose the tag team titles and they get taken from them as well. So I hope they do that. I hope Rhea goes off into her own thing. If you listen to some of the rumors, there could be a few returns tonight that hopefully that happens. Whether it be Becky Lynch, whether it be Charlotte Flair, whoever else it may be, hopefully somebody pulls Rhea Ripley's attention away from Liv. That way, this storyline kind of breaks apart a little bit.
Well, there's
also agree.
There's another rumor. Oh, it's not even a rumor. I take everything my boy says to heart. He thinks it's going to be Liv and Becky at Mania. Because Liv has been talking some doo-doo on Becky lately, how she retired her, blah, 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 and that's how she's coming back. It's not just the man, but it's something else, like something better than the man is what he thinks. Yeah. So I think I agree with him on that. I think it might be Liv versus Becky, and he's pretty on it when it comes down to the women's division. I mean, he is pretty on it.
And so for everybody who's not me and who doesn't know what you're talking about, let them know who your boy is. That way.
Esteban. You guys know the pictures and everything. Yeah, my boy Esteban. Sorry. I really thought I said his name.
You didn't, but that's fine. I knew who you were talking about because we talk about Esteban a lot.
Yeah.
Shout out to Esteban. It's all good, Esteban. Don't worry. We're not talking bad about you. We love you, brother. But yeah, I knew who you were talking about, but I knew some of the audience, especially if they're new, may not know.
Yeah.
But EC does know a lot about the women's division, and I do respect everything he says. And I could see that. I just don't see Liv and Becky being a WrestleMania type match. I don't know.
We'll see.
It may be something else.
Hopefully.
All right. Next up, you have the grudge match between CM Punk and Seth freaking Rollins. I will go first on this one since you went first on the last one. And it's really hard. I've myself have gone back and forth on this one, not as much as you talked about on the last, or more than I went back on the Liv and Rhea stuff. I really should have let you go first, so I had a few more seconds to think about it. But since I'm on the spot, I will go with CM Punk. I think they are going to set up for him a larger match at WrestleMania. I think this will be the way to do that. I don't think Seth is necessarily hurt by a loss. because I think he's starting to show more heel tendencies anyway, especially with John Cena and some other baby faces coming back. So I think it will be CM Punk, and this will kind of start to turn Seth Rollins heel for some other stuff too. I would actually like to see after Karrion Kross and the Wyatt Six do their thing. I'd like to see Karrion Kross and Seth Rollins have a couple matches and have that same kind of heel turning effect that he's had on a lot of other people, and have that be the starting point of Seth turning heel. But who do you have in this match?
I got Punk. All right, and it only because of the unscripted promo that those two put on on Monday. That's the only reason why. I've been going back and forth on this match as well. Who needs it more? Is it Rollins or is it Punk? And I think Punk needs it a little bit more than Rollins does. Going into the Royal Rumble, going into WrestleMania season, he has a favor, yes, but does he activate that favor on Monday? Yeah, so I think Punk wins this.
All right, moving on to Drew McIntyre, the Uso Hunter, taking on Jey Uso. Who you got?
I got Drew on this one, to be honest. He has just been killing it. Even Cody acknowledged it, okay? He is killing it right now. You cannot have Jey beat Drew on this one. Drew needs this win after the whole CM Punk debacle, losing out on that. And he just coming back, he's going upward. All right. He's taking everybody out. All right. So if you have him lose to Jey, it stalls out. So he needs to beat Jey on this one. So I got him beating Jey.
All right. There you go. Yeah. You have Drew beating Jey. I also have Drew beating Jey. I think he is working his way up to Roman eventually. And this is just the first step. I think it just makes sense with everything that they've been doing with him. Not to mention, you kind of had Jey stand tall Friday on SmackDown where he did the dive on him. I mean, I know it was kind of very short-lived, but he got that last little lick on him.
Yeah.
So just pro wrestling rule number 99, whoever stands tall last usually loses.
Whoever has the briefcase first is not winning.
Yeah, exactly. We could have a whole show based on just wrestling rules, unwritten wrestling rules. But I do think Drew McIntyre does win this and moves on to, I guess, the next line. He's teasing going to SmackDown, so that puts him in the orbit of both Jimmy and Jey as well, because he's already made it through Sammy. Jey is kind of the second step in that evolution, which I think he takes over now. Moving on to the go ahead.
I was gonna say, I don't think he has to face Jimmy at all. Yeah.
I mean, he will, though. I mean, just because he hasn't done it yet. He talked about doing all four of them. So eventually he's going to face all four of them in some shape, form, or fashion.
No, I feel that.
Yeah. All right. We will move on to the main event, which I know is not the main event of the show because I think it's going to be Seth and CM Punk, from what I understand.
Yeah.
But we will move on to the tribal combat match, Solo Sikoa, Roman Reigns for the Ula Fala and control of the family. You're up first. Who you got?
All right. This one is hard, okay? But I'm going to have to go with Solo. I'm going Solo. We love you, Solo. That's the only reason why. We're going Solo. Jacob Fatu is a difference maker. No. Because he's supposed to go to Raw. I'm calling it. He's turning on Solo. He hates him now. Watch. It's going to be Roman. I'm changing everything. Roman. That was my brain just clicking. That was Squirrel going in my face. All right? That's for you, fans.
All right. Well, I actually got excited for a second because if I also pick Roman, that means we have no differences. It means I have no chance to win the crown. So I obviously have to pick Solo, whether I want to or not, just to have at least one difference. And this is really I feel pretty confident on all four of them that I think is going to win.
The one I don't feel confident on at all.
I feel pretty confident Roman's going to win. I actually think he will win, and then Jacob and Tama Tonga will both turn on him on SmackDown.
Yeah,
because obviously with that promo they cut Friday, with him saying, "I'll acknowledge Roman, I'll fall in line, I will be a part of the family," and they've played up this whole time that Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu don't play that. They don't care about that. They're unhinged. They're wild. So I think Roman will beat Solo, take the Ula Fala back. Solo will fall in line and then get beat down kind of like they did with or not Jay, with Jimmy after WrestleMania. And then Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu will go off and do their own thing.
Yeah.
But just in interest of trying to win the crown, and since I can't win it if I have a tie, I will pick Solo Sikoa to beat Roman Reigns. All right. That is everything for the Raw on Netflix show. We will move over to NXT. I'll give you just a second to make sure to turn the page on your notebook there to write down those.
I already got it. It's
You
right here.
All right.
Yeah.
We will pull the card straight up and go. It is New Year's Evil coming up on Tuesday night. I'm not sure why they didn't actually do this on New Year's Eve. That seems a little weird. But it is what it is. I maybe because they wanted to do it in LA after the Netflix show because it's going to be in that same area. Maybe that's it, just because it gets it more pub. We will go through again each match. Hopefully, someone will have some differences here so I can win the NXT title. Starting off with the Sudden Death Heritage Cup final match. Lexis King, Charlie Dempsey. I'll let you go first. Who you got?
I'm going with the King. Come on, man. This guy's improved so much in ring, on the mic. I mean, it was just a few weeks ago, he was dancing in the ring, having so much fun, facing everybody, you know? Then he beat Dempsey a couple weeks ago for the cup. They're not going to let him lose it. I got King winning it.
I actually have King winning it as well, but I actually think he will cheat to win. I think the
so
whole
too.
thing, after all of the stuff that's happened where he tried everything he could not to cheat and he keeps getting screwed over, I think this is the tipping point where he will see some opportunity and cheat to win and kind of revert a little bit back to the old Lexis King, but pretend it didn't happen kind of thing. But I do think he wins, and I do think he takes the Heritage Cup, and I'm here for it.
I am too.
I'm a fan of Lexis King as a wrestler. I think he's going to do really good things in 2025. I would like to see him start that trajectory. And I think we even talked about it when we were talking about who was going to be the next people to get championships. I didn't think it would be Lexis King, but that Heritage Cup is kind of a starting point to build new champions to see what they can do.
I like that.
I thought it was going to be Duke Hudson, but apparently they're not doing anything with him right now after Chase U. So
not right now. Not until after Mania, when they do the call ups and stuff like that. He'll get back in the shuffle, but right now it's Mania season, man. You gotta step up or get out of the way. You know.
Nope. Speaking of stepping up, we have the 4-way number one contenders match for the North American title for the women. Stephanie Vacour, Kalani Jordan, Lola Vice, and Cora Jade. Who you got?
Man, like I said before we started doing this match is the hardest one to pick. Okay, you could have Stephanie win. You could have Cora win. You could have Lola win. You could have the starting unhinged Jordan win. You know, it's hard to pick this match. I'm gonna keep my gut with Lola. I'm going Lola Vice.
Okay, I'm actually gonna go Stephanie. They were teasing that long before Kalani started turning crazy or heel or whatever you want to say, vindictive or whatever. That Stephanie and Fallon match has been teased since the whole 10-woman tag match.
Yeah, you're
a couple months ago.
You're right.
So I think this is where you get the payoff for that. You go into that Stephanie Vacour with a title shot. It maybe stand and deliver or whatever. Maybe if there should be a pay-per-view, I guess, before the Royal Rumble, maybe. Because they do it before a big pay-per-view. They'll do an NXT show. I haven't looked at the schedule.
I haven't looked at it.
But I do think Stephanie Vacour wins this one and becomes the number one contender. All right. Speaking of Fallon Henley, you have her in Fatal Influence in a 6-woman tag team against the new team of Shotzi, Gigi Dolan, and Tatum Paxley. I'll go first on this one. I think this is where the baby faces take it, which is Shotzi, Tatum, and Gigi. Look, and this is just one of my new favorite teams in all of WWE. I love all three of these women. Not that I don't like Fatal Influence, but just I don't know, man. There's something about this team I like. I've always liked Shotzi, and Gigi's always been one of my favorite, and Tatum has become one of my favorites this past year. So I'm going to go with them to win and hopefully catapult all three of them. Who you got?
The other team, I got Fatal Influence. All right, I got Fatal Influence because, like I said on the awards show, they went from absolutely looking for what to do to being one of the biggest factions right now. You can't have these guys lose. You got Fallon Henley as your NXT North American champion. You get Gigi just coming back, Shotzi just coming back, and what's her name?
Tatum Paxley.
Tatum, yeah, I was gonna call it Paxley Tatum. You got her just hiding in a box or playing with a doll. All right, so it's gonna be the women that actually run the joint right now, and that's Fatal Influence.
All right, we will move on to the third women's match in a row. Keep in mind there are 3 women's matches out of 5 on this card, which is really cool.
Shout
out
that.
to women's wrestling.
I like that.
Moving on to the biggest prize in the game of NXT, the NXT Women's Champion, Roxanne Perez, taking on Julia for that title. Who you got?
As much as I like Roxanne Perez, Julia is going to be your next NXT Women's Champion. As much as I like Roxanne Perez, she has done fantastic. 2 runs, 2 fantastic runs, okay? Well, like, she's ready to go to the next level. We all know that. She's got Royal Rumble on the horizon. She's got, bigger things to look at. Julia versus Stephanie, like you said, or Julia versus Lola, Julia versus Zarya, whatever. Those are matches that people are going to want to see. Those are matches that are fresh, they're new. It's going to make that title bigger again, bigger than what it is now. And it's huge right now. When you talk about NXT, you talk about the women's division. You talk about the NXT women's title. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Julia can make it even bigger. So I'm going with her.
All right, I agree. I think it's Julia's time. I actually think it's Roxanne's time. But it's Roxanne's time to move away from NXT, move into the main roster, start her career. They've had this transfer window talking. And it's funny, nobody's really moved in the transfer window yet, and you've seen people kind of scattered around everywhere. You've seen the Metaphor girls. You've seen people move from Raw to SmackDown. Like you said, Drew McIntyre was on SmackDown. You've got SmackDown people on Raw. You really haven't seen some of the bigger names in NXT really talking to anyone in backstage like you have. So I think that's one of the things that they're trying to keep that surprise. So they're not trying to tease those. I think Roxanne is one of those that will get called up. I think Trick Williams will do the same thing here pretty soon, which I guess kind of telegraphs my next pick, but we'll get there. But I do think it's Julia's time. And look, all the matches you mentioned, and look, not to mention last year, they had a lot of main roster women come down and fight for the NXT. Do you imagine Io Sky coming down and wrestling Julia? They've had some history in Japan. Or Kairi Sane. Any of those women coming down battling for the title against Julia.
Yeah.
I mean, those matches would be crazy.
That would put you almost at 900,000 views, maybe getting close to 1 million on the viewership. Like that's money. That's money. That's what I'm saying. Look, no knock to Roxanne. She has done fantastic as a two-time NXT Women's Champion. Fantastic. But it's time. It's time to give it to Julia. Time for let her run it. Because, man, you got a lot of women down there that are going to have some fun with those matches, man. Think about it.
100%. All right, moving on to the main event, the triple threat match between Trick Williams, Eddie Thorpe, and Oba Femi. I'll let you go first because everybody probably knows who I'm going to pick.
It's everybody. Everybody knows who I'm going to pick. It's Oba. Come on, the ruler is about the rule, okay? They've been wanting that NXT title to feel relevant for a while now. Look, I know, again, there's no knock to Trick Williams, okay? He's done fantastic. But where are the accolades? When you talk about Carmelo Hayes' run, right? Or Braun Breaker's run, or Ilya Dragunov's run. What do they all have in common? Great matches against tons of people. Okay? Trick's been a one-trick pony. Ethan Page, some type of triple threat or a fatal four-way. It's cool. It's cool. We get it. We like his theme. We all love it. But Oba's the man. Oba's taking it. He's the ruler. For a reason, he's taking it.
Yeah, I mean, do I even need to say who I think is going to win this?
I already had that written down way before we even started this.
Anybody who's ever watched any episode of the show that we've talked about anything on NXT, I think Oba Femi should beat Cody Rhodes and take their title today. I mean, Obafemi's the future. He is the ruler, the now and forever king of WWE coming up. Just like hopefully I am the now and forever king of the run-in, winning these 2 titles hopefully today. Unfortunately I have to hitch my wagon to Solo in that first set of predictions. We've got a couple of different ones here, so it's a good week to be a wrestling fan. You had last Wednesday you had Max debuting AEW. Then you got SmackDown going to 3 hours. Now coming up Monday, you've got Raw going to Netflix and going back to 3 hours. You've got NXT. You've got Collision tonight because we're recording this on a Saturday that's also on Max. And it is a great time to be a wrestling fan, especially AEW and WWE. And so I guess the only question is, what are you looking forward to the most?
Well, be honest with you, I am looking forward to TNA and seeing what they do in 2025. All right. I get to watch TNA and stuff like that, and I would love to talk about it because they are on fire right now. But I kind of want to see what TNA does this year. I want to see if they can continue the path of success and everything, getting back to being one of the top 2. Like 20 years ago, we all were like, holy crap, man. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, this guy, what was it? Christopher Daniels. The list goes on. What was her OBD? I can't think of her name now.
Just OBD is fine because we may get
we get monetized for that one. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that B part may get you in trouble.
That will get you in trouble, man. There was a lot of good things coming out of TNA, and they're doing it now. Look what they did. Their final, the last pay-per-view that they did, it was sold out. Atlanta was popping. The main event was freaking great. Every match was fantastic. You got people out here not now. I don't know why they're just now talking about it, but now they're talking about Top Dollar and how well he was wrestling in that match against Nick Nemeth. Okay, I'm not gonna say I said his last name wrong. I'm sorry, Dolph Ziggler. All right, but then you see JBL coming back. There's a lot of cool things happening right now in TNA. So if you guys get a chance, TNA Plus subscription, go do it. It is worth it. I mean, worth it. So,
that's going to be one of my New Year's resolutions is find a way to watch TNA, whether I've got to go get a second job or something to get that, or if I can find a way to.
I wonder if I can give you my username and stuff, and you can watch it.
But let's not talk about it in a public forum. I'm not trying to go to jail for watching.
Oh TNA. Yeah, no, I feel that. All right. Let's not talk about it.
But that's definitely one of my New Year's resolutions is to watch, and not just TNA, watch other wrestling outside of WWE and AEW. We've got a guy that watches the show that, he just talked about watching 15 different promotions to come up with his list of matches of the year. And I'm like, I watch 2 and maybe a third every now and then. But yeah, definitely New Year's resolution to watch different wrestling other than just the 2 main products that we get to see every week.
Let's try to watch more Noah, folks. Ever since I follow Noah. Go follow Noah Wrestling. That's where Omos is
Omos, right now. Omos just won a title there.
Man, they got some cool stuff happening over there too. If you're watching, like, you can go on their websites and they got, or you can go on other wrestling websites. You can find it on YouTube and stuff. They got some really cool stuff going on over there. I'm looking forward to MLW, and I really, really want to go to a GCW event. I want to go to a GCW event this year. I will be hitting up WWE when they hit up Hershey, possibly Baltimore and DC area as well. And I'm going to take my wife to an AEW event this year. It's happening. We're going. We got it. We got to do it. The run-in needs to go to more places and get out there.
Definitely. We will try to do that, and we will try to watch more. That way we can bring you guys all the wrestling content that you deserve and that you want for 2025. Make sure you stick with us. If you're watching this video, please like and subscribe on the channel. Follow us on all socials, Spedrock, SP3DROCK on Twitch and on X at _Big Mike 27, pretty much on all socials. Go follow us. Go to the YouTube at _Big Mike 27 or the Running Wrestling Podcast to make sure you guys can follow us for all the wrestling content we've got coming up. It's going to be a big year. We really look forward to it and hope you guys enjoy wrestling. Have a great day.